Happy Friday, Mill Creek Township School District family. Today we come to you to bring you the second video in our Stronger Together series. Just in case you might be wondering, why is it that Coach Orlando and I are not wearing any masks today? We have our masks with us, but we have taken every precaution to be 6 feet apart from each other. Additionally, we have our windows open that will provide us with ventilation. As a reminder, we are dedicated to the health and safety of all of our students, and we want to encourage our families, students, student athletes, and the community to join us as we demonstrate what it truly means to be stronger together. We are excited to have Coach Brad Orlando, our amazing McDowell Football team's head coach. And he's here with us today to talk a little bit about his quarantine experience, how he stayed active at home while he was quarantined, and how he is practicing the 3 W's, as you can see here, with the team. We also have our pandemic coordinator, Krystal Krawcyzck, here with us today, and she will explain more about what an active case is and what a close contact is as we continue to highlight our 3 W's. Coach Orlando, your team is having an exciting but somewhat challenging season. Before we begin talking about the team's recent pause in plays, I first want to extend my thoughts and certainly my support to your young person, your student athlete, Johnny Heidel, and his family on his journey towards recovery. It was incredibly impressive to see how everyone in the community, our schools, have just rallied around what it means to support him and his family over the last couple of weeks. And so please know that your entire team and Johnny and his family are continuously in our thoughts. So I wanted to make sure we at least talk a little bit about that important fact for us. Coach Bo, your team recently had a pause in plays as a part of COVID-19 because of our mitigation efforts. But they're back in the field practicing this weekend. I'm excited, you're excited, the community is excited. Can you tell us about how the team have maintained sort of a strong connection and remained positive during the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, we stayed connected, and that was the main thing. Through our huddle software, through our app, we would have team meetings, tracking our student athletes' grades. We also had an acronym for the word Trojans that we used every day for the last 7 days until we got back onto the field. Unfortunately, our guys knew this was a possibility from day one, but their character really came through. This all started back in March, when we were obviously out of school and we were doing our Zoom meetings and our Zoom workouts, and then July 2nd, I thought this process was going to be a lot more difficult. Our kids came just ready to play because they knew it was at stake. And they've really done that since the beginning, with all the protocols set by our district and obviously our state. I've said at times joking, I think they've handled everything better than the coaching staff has. So they've been great about things. They know it's day by day that something like this could possibly happen.
Thank you, Coach. As an athlete myself, a former athlete, a long time ago, the legs are not the same anymore. I can certainly relate to the desire to want to train and how a pause in play might be difficult for players, especially during the middle of the season. We certainly want our players to stay active and our students to maintain their face-to-face education. However, we also know that it's important during this time, whether they're on or off the field, for everyone to practice the 3 W's. Washing your hands, wearing your mask, and watching our distance. We know that these are sort of 3 really critical parts to this school year that we have to highlight. Our athletic season was given a little bit of a pause, but that is not the only thing that will drive the work that we're doing. Coach, what's some more advice that you will have for players and students to stay healthy and stay safe during this season and beyond?
Well, I think, like I said before, it's easy for our guys because they want to play. And the mechanics of what we're doing is what changed things, starting with this summer, and how they come in and screening every kid and making sure they're temped. Obviously wearing the mask in the building. Being a larger sport, we have more student athletes involved with football, so we've had to split our kids into different groups. And like I said, they've been great about it. So obviously wearing the mask every time we leave some type of meeting or weight room. There's sanitizer everywhere. Things are getting fogged. We're wiping things down. And then that ends up translating out on the field as well with any field equipment we have. So I think for the kids, it's just continue to follow the protocols. I think our coaches at this high school are going to do a great job of that in the winter and hopefully the spring. And I think the kids will buy in because they want to play, and I think this is one of the safest places to be.
Absolutely. Thanks a million. Tremendous gratitude to you and your coaching staff for keeping our student athletes safe and for keeping us playing, because we know that, again, at Mill Creek Township School District as well as at McDowell High School, we want to make sure that we have places and spaces for McDowell Football. Since our first video released last week, we have received some additional questions from our families for our amazing pandemic team. And we have our pandemic coordinator who will join us now, Krystal Krawcyzck, and she will answer some of those questions for our students and their families. We recently added a COVID-19 dashboard to our website. If you go on our website at www.mtsd.org/COVID, you will see the number of active cases. We're tracking those cases, as well as you'll get constant updates about where we are with how we're monitoring and how we're supporting everyone to remain safe during this time. Krystal, can you please join us to help us understand what an active case is?
All right, so an active case is any individual who has tested positive for COVID-19 and remains in their infectious period and has not met the CDC or DOH criteria for release.
Many people have also asked this question. Can you also help us to understand and provide clarity on when an active case is no longer considered active? And does that require a negative test result?
So a case is no longer considered active when a person has been 10 days past their initial onset of their symptoms and has been symptom-free, fever-free, and 24 hours without any use of fever-reducing medication. Someone who has remained symptom-free within the initial 3 months of their case is not required to test again.
Thank you. Another term that keeps coming up over and over again, and we've heard a lot about, is close contact. Can you tell the community, what is close contact? What does it mean to be close contact?
So there are a couple different ways that you can keep yourself from becoming a close contact, and 2 of the 3 W's are main ways you can do that: wearing your mask and watching your distance, especially keeping that 6 feet or greater that we talk about. If you have to be in close contact with someone, making sure you do have that mask on and limiting it to 15 minutes or less. So a close contact by definition is within 6 feet for 15 minutes or greater.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated. We want to take this time to just really extend a heartfelt gratitude to thank our community, our parents, our teachers, and certainly our students, and everyone who is continuing to support the Mill Creek Township School District families so that we can continue to remain in face-to-face education, remain playing, while we're keeping everyone safe. Next week, we will have another video in the series of what it means to be truly stronger together, and we will have McDowell's head coach, the cheer coach actually, Dina Prabomnik, with us for the Stronger Together video. So please send us any questions that you would like to have, and the pandemic team is excited to answer those questions. Community, we thank you. Keep us playing, keep us in school. Let's continue to be safe as we practice our 3 W's. Thank you.
Our MTSD community is proud to say that we end this Friday with only 3 active cases.
Thank you, Krystal. Thank you, Coach Bo. Much appreciated.